JavaScript is capable of taking different courses of action depending on the circumstances. In common with other programming languages, it uses conditions to determine what action to take. You place the condition in parentheses preceded by the if keyword. The code associated with the condition is placed in a pair of curly braces after the condition, and the code inside those curly braces is executed only if the condition is true. Optionally, you can add an else clause with another set of curly braces to execute alternative code if the condition is not true. You can also chain conditions like this: if, else if, else. If the first condition is true, the code in the first block is executed. If it's not true but the second condition is true, then the code in the second block is executed. If neither condition is true, then the code in the optional else block is executed. The important point here is that only one block of code is executed, so even if the second condition is true, but the first one is true, it's the first one that takes precedence. The condition is often a comparison, such as two values being equal, or one being larger than the other. This table lists the most important comparison operators used in JavaScript. It's important to notice that when comparing whether two values are the same, you use two equals signs, not one. One equals sign assigns a value to a variable, two equals signs compare two values. To see if two values are different, you precede the equal sign by an exclamation mark. The greater than or equal to, less than, and less than or equal to comparison operators are the same as used in standard mathematics. Armed with that knowledge about using comparisons and conditions to make decisions, we can now improve this change font size function. At the moment, it simply sets the font size to 20 pixels when somebody clicks on the link. By creating a conditional statement, we can toggle backwards and forwards between 20 pixels and the standard size of 16 pixels. When the page first loads, the font size is 16 pixels, so what I want to do is to check if the font size is not 20 pixels and then set it 20 pixels. So let's add that conditional statement here. If list style font size does not equal, so that's exclamation mark equals sign, and then 20 pixels in quotes, close the parentheses, open curly brace, and you see that Dreamweaver has told me that there is a syntax error. What that means is I need to put the closing curly brace in. Let's put it in there, and it's also a good idea to indent the code inside those curly braces. It just makes the code easier to read, so when you've got a problem, it's easier to find the root of the problem. So that conditional statement will now change my font to 20 pixels if it's not already 20 pixels, but I want to change it back if it is 20 pixels, so I need an else clause. So else, and I'll put the closing curly brace in straight away. And then I just change it to list style font size equals 16 pixels. So save that, activate live view, and click there. Up to 20 pixels, click again, back down to 16. Click again, up to 20 pixels. So we can keep on going backwards and forwards, toggling backwards and forwards, because it's doing the if-else condition comparison. So that's the basis of making decisions in JavaScript using conditions.